It is Tuesday, January 27th at 10:56 a.m., and you're listening to Sean Thinking Out Loud. Let's start with a test so simple a toddler could pass it. If you can post stupid nonsense online about living in a Nazi country without a boot kicking in your door, then no, you're not living in a Nazi country. You're living in a country where your biggest oppression is that someone disagreed with you. That's not fascism. That's called adulthood. Now, I know the loony left gets itchy without a villain costume to scream at. So they cosplay tyranny like it's a Halloween party with student loan debt. They toss around Nazi the way toddlers toss Cheerios. Everything is Nazi. Traffic lights? Nazi. A manager saying show up on time? Nazi. A border? Super Nazi. Here's the embarrassing part. If your regime is so fascist that you can say it on TikTok with a ring light and sponsorships, then you don't have a dictatorship. You have a drama addiction, and you're trying to medicate it with moral panic. Let's define terms since people keep using history like a blunt object. A real fascist system doesn't ask permission from the citizenry to be feared. It doesn't politely wait for your thread to go viral. It doesn't let you organize protests, raise money, publish hit pieces, and chant into megaphones without consequence. In actual tyrannies, the state doesn't argue with you. It disappears you. And no, being ratioed online does not count as political imprisonment. If you think a mean comment is state violence, you are not oppressed. You're fragile. Now let's talk about the modern hustle. Everything I hate is fascism. That's not analysis, that's a tantrum with adjectives. That's the intellectual equivalent of stomping your foot and yelling, "I didn't get my way!" Here's how you can tell you're dealing with performance politics. They never risk anything real. They're brave only in crowds, brave only with cameras, brave only when it's safe. They'll scream resistance while holding a latte and checking for good lighting. Revolution apparently now comes with a promo code. Meanwhile, the same people who scream Nazi all day want you censored, want you deplatformed, want your bank account pressured, want your job threatened. Not because you committed a crime, but because you said something they don't like. That's not protecting democracy. That's training wheels authoritarianism. They don't want freedom of speech. They want freedom to speak plus the power to silence you. And then they have the audacity to call you the fascist. That's rich. It's like a burglar yelling, "Why are you so paranoid?" while picking your lock. It's not anti-fascism, it's pro-control. Let me put it in plain English. If you can openly call the president a Nazi, mock the government, and broadcast it worldwide, then you're not living under fascism. You're living under the most annoying blessing in a free society, the right to say stupid things without being stopped. And you're welcome. Now, do bad things happen in imperfect governments? Of course. Is power abused sometimes? Yes. Is politics ugly? Always. But words matter. History matters. When you cheapen Nazi, you don't sound virtuous. You sound uneducated. And worse, you help real extremists hide in the noise you created. Because if everything is Nazi, then nothing is. So, here's the reality check for the chronically online. Your ability to insult leaders publicly is evidence of freedom. Your ability to organize publicly is evidence of freedom. Your ability to buy a phone, post videos, and keep your paycheck is evidence of freedom. Your oppression is mostly an algorithm that doesn't validate you. Now, am I saying you should trust politicians? No. You should trust politicians like you trust a used car salesman who says, "I swear it never flooded." Skepticism is healthy, but hysteria is a substitute for thinking. Here's a better standard. If you want to claim fascism, show the evidence, not vibes. Not, "it feels like," evidence. Policies, laws, enforcement patterns, political prisoners, press shutdowns, independent courts neutralized. If all you have is, "someone said something mean," sit down. Read a book, then come back. Because right now, you're not fighting fascism, you're fighting adulthood. You're fighting disagreement. You're fighting the terrifying reality that you don't automatically get your way. That's not a resistance movement, that's a personality problem. If you agree, drop "not fascism" in the comments. And if you disagree, fine. Make your case, but spare me the kindergarten vocabulary. Because if you can't post it freely, you're not in a Nazi state. You're just loud, and unfortunately, allowed to be.